Hi, welcome to another session with us where we talk about some stories on some technology and we believe you'll have an aha moment and you'll go away saying, abracadabra, what? What we are going to be talking today about is display technology or TV technology, TV display technology rather, which would be LED and OLED. And we're going to be touching up a little bit on QLED and LCD TVs. Now, the terminologies between these TV technologies for display can be confusing. And I want to just give you the basics to demystify what are the concepts behind these terms. Do you remember, I'm sure you do, these kind of displays, simple displays which used to be there on wristwatches, used to be there, they still are on timers. So these are LCD displays. These are little segments where you can see the number, and if it's dark, you are usually not able to see them because there is no light which is built in unless it has a back light which you can press on. Similarly, for these remote controls like the air conditioner remote controls, you will have the LCD displays here. Now, largely TV technology is still LCD displays. What has happened is that in the first generation of LCD displays, we would have lights, we would have more crude kind of lights, somewhat like those large tube light kind of lights. I'm kind of making things very simple and therefore I'm using slightly crude terminology so that you get it easier. So they used to be there, those tube light kind of lights used to be there behind the display panel, and the displays would be somewhat similar to this, but instead of lines they would be dots, and instead of just black they'd be color. So LCD display with backlighting were referred to as LCD TVs. Now they were kind of around this thick, and they would be having lights behind the displays. Now those lights which were behind the displays got replaced with LED lights, and thus the TVs became significantly more narrow and the lights became more precise. So those TVs are referred to as LED TVs, but in reality they are LCD TVs with LED backlighting. They are still backlit TVs. They are not TVs where the panel's front itself is lit up, but the panel is actually an LCD panel with backlighting coming from LED bulbs, which are LEDs which are there behind the display panel. So they are still backlit displays. Now what has happened is LG, specifically LG, has pushed very strong for a change in the display technology in the TV space. And what they have done is they have created OLED displays. OLED displays are not LCD displays, but they are actually LEDs right in the front. So in the front of the panel itself are OLED tiny dots which light up. They are basically LEDs which are lighting up. So they are LEDs which are forming the display. LCD is not forming the display. LCD does not have any light of its own. LED, of course, has light of its own. So in the OLED TVs, you have the lights right in the front, and they come on when there is a dot which needs to be lit up. As a result of which, the crispness of the display is pretty good because they are not displays which are being lit from the back, but the dot itself is getting lit up. Now, they say, and I leave that to your opinion, they say that as a result, the contrast is really nice. The blacks are true black because there is no leakage of light from a lit up area into a dark area, which happens with backlit displays. And as a result, you are able to have a really good quality viewing experience with OLED TVs. Having said that, companies like Samsung have managed to do pretty impressive backlit displays too. Samsung's display is called QLED, which is quantum LED backlighting, which means they do very precise, minuscule backlit LED arrays, which give a display quality which is pretty much similar to OLED in terms of preciseness of the lighting control. So you have OLEDs which are really crisp with great contrast, and you have LEDs which are backlit displays, LCD displays with LED backlighting. Both kinds of TVs are great. OLEDs are pushed very strongly by LG, and you also have Sony, which uses a lot of LG's panels, at least used to use a lot of LG's panels, with the Sony famous color graphics processor behind it, of course, as a result of which the Sony's displays, even though the panels might have been from LG, but still the color output would be different because they would have different algorithms to convert the colors into the kind of displays you get to see. So you have OLEDs primarily from these two, and you also have LED backlit TVs from a range of TV vendors, including Samsung, Panasonic, Sharp, etc. You decide which one is good for you. OLED displays are slightly more expensive even today, and then we have the LED displays which are slightly lower priced. I hope this clears the concept of LCDs, LEDs, OLEDs and QLEDs for you. Catch you on another session with Abracadabra What. Have a good one.